Hello, you're very welcome back to Track Talk with Olly Murphy. I'm your host, Daniel Hussey. Welcome along. And firstly, Ollie, it's great for the last 3 or 4 weeks to start these videos with positivity, and the form of the art just seems to be kicking on well. Can you put it down purely to the ground and being able to run horses? Is it just a lot of things coming together? Or?
Yeah, I think they're just in good form. Dan, we've had plenty of rain over here, and I've kind of, as I said before, I've plenty of horses that are fresh and well in themselves and haven't been over raced on quick ground kind of through January and February when we had no rains. So yeah, they're still running away well, and long may that continue. Hopefully into these festivals now at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of winners early on last week. So what will be in Hukalami? Talk to us about them and maybe next steps.
Yeah, Okalami's actually gone on to pastures new. He was claimed. That was a good performance in the grade. What will be didn't take to jumping hurdles and relish going back on the flat. So I was delighted to get his head back in front as well. So that was good.
Yeah, and then Even's favourite Space Voyage winning for you there as well.
Yeah, track nearly got her beat. Very sharp track, Ludlow. And she kind of only just got into stride now from the back of the last line. But nice filly. She might have one more run this year. She'll be a lovely mare to go jumping fences next year.
Okay, and then straight to a double with yourself and Sean Bowen. I love the partnership you guys are striking, and I think that's important for Yard. I know you've spoken a little bit about Sean before, and obviously with Aidan Coleman still riding for you out, it's brilliant for some of the top horses, perhaps. But for Yard, like Harry Cobden, Paul Nichols, Paul Townend, Willie Mullins before that, Ruby Walsh, and separate with there. I think it is probably important, just from the outside looking in, that you have like a number one jockey that people kind of go, right, Sean Bowen's on this one. Let's see how it gets on.
Yeah, no, 100%. Listen, he's young and enthusiastic, and he's riding very, very well. He's getting to know a lot of these horses well, and listen, love having him part of the team. And hopefully things are only going to kind of get bigger and better for us both. And yeah, he's riding very, very well, and it's nice to see that we're striking up a good rapport together.
Yeah, brilliant to see doubles on the cards. Moving on to Aintree. So this is, I guess, in some ways the calm before the storm with Aintree, but you seem to have a lot of runners, particularly on Sunday. I know most people will be listening to this post Friday afternoon, but a quick word on Fleurman. We spoke a lot about it. It seems to be my favorite horse somehow, even though I'm not even an all-weather man. But it's great to see a horse like that being able to run in a card like that at Newcastle.
Yeah, he's in really good form. He looks progressive, doesn't he? So I think coming back up to Newcastle is really going to suit him. Obviously, a very valuable race, which means it's going to be very competitive. But he's in very good form. He seems on an upward curve, and if he can keep improving, I don't see any reason why he couldn't run well.
Well, listen, best of luck with that. Moving on to Sunday, then there seems to be a lot of horses. I still only have the 4-day entries in front of me, Ollie. So apologies if I've called out some horses that haven't or that aren't declared. But Hunter's Call, I see a few favourites out Sunday. Hunter's Call, Rambo T, Enduring Love, Booster Bob. What are your sort of highlights that you've declared on for Sunday's race?
I've declared, I think, 5 or 6 for Market Raise and Bush Tucker Park and Princess Poppy and the Mare's Maiden Hurdle. They both need to improve what they've shown thus far. Secret Tricks would have an each way chance in the 2 mile 5 handicap hurdle. Saladam's having his first run back after wind up in the maiden hurdle. Calypso Clonge is now a non-runner tomorrow in Haydock due to the ground changing. So he's going to go to Market Raisin on Sunday. And Fabric on France runs in the handicap chase at Market Raisin as well. So plenty of each way chance at Market Raisin. I probably haven't got a standout, albeit I kind of thought Calypso Clonge, Fabric on France, Saladam would all have kind of nice each way chances. Dr. T. Jekyllberg runs in the Sussex Champion Hurdle at Plumpton. Hopefully a fast run handicap will suit him well. Nico de Boinville rides him, which is an unusual jockey button for the yard, but there's a lot of racing on. And 3 runners down in Fosslas. The same runs in the novice hurdle. Looks a warm race. I thought Nigel Twiston Davis's horse Cuthbert Dibber would be very hard to beat. Benassi runs in the handicap hurdle. He's got a lot of weight, but hopefully he's on a nice mark for his handicap debut. And Benign Dictator runs in the handicap hurdle, probably half a mile short of what he ideally wants, and looks a competitive race, but he's got the ability if he wants to put it in.
That's serious good going. I had them all in front of me, and one by one they were either declared or not by yourself, Ollie. So very good knowledge, obviously. A little bit on Nico de Boima. How does that come about, and when was the last time he rode for the Yard?
I don't think he's ever ridden for me, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I don't think he's ever ridden for me. So yeah, a lot of my jockeys are Fosslas and Market Raise, and there's a lot of racing on. the part owner of him, Dominic Burke, has horse in training with Nicky Henderson as well, and just made sense. Obviously, he's a top class jockey. £50,000 race, and he hasn't got a lot of weights. We didn't have a lot of options, but delighted to have Nico on board.
Yeah, good problems to have when the jockeys are riding other horses for the yard as well, which is it's brilliant. Outside of that, so a little bit before Aintree talk, very briefly Aintree talk. We've got 4-day entries at Fakenham on Monday, a little bit of Chepstow and Exeter on Tuesday. Have you had a chance to look at that? I see so we'll get to the other questions in a sec. But yeah, on Monday, Tuesday's racing. Have you a chance to look at those 4 days yet? And what you're kind of
Clonakilty will run somewhere under a penalty. He's won his maiden hurdle. There's a bit more experience. I thought he'd run well wherever he went. He'd probably go to Chepstow, and I'll run a few at Fakenham. I'm not kind of sure what, but I Floating Lion will run the bumper. She's a nice filly, making her debut. And I'll run 1 or 2 up there. Kenna Hope might run up there as well, and maybe Made for You. I actually haven't got a crazy strong team now for the next. Certainly Sunday, Monday. I've got a lot of runners. Listen, if I had a winner or 2, I'd be delighted. But I don't think you'll see me with any real kind of short ones, So plenty of horse to run. They're in good form, and hopefully a few of them will outrun their price, and we can have a winner or 2.
Yeah, well, it's like you said, that when the yard's in form, you see horses pop out of nowhere. Like, it's brilliant. Just briefly on Aintree, and it's probably like tough to look at it. We'll do a proper Aintree preview with Olly. That should be in your podcast feed around next Wednesday on Track Talk. But a little bit on Aintree, and there's a lot. I guess you're looking forward to running a lot. You'll have a good team. I know it's hard with the handicaps, but on some of those grade 1s and novice hurdles, what are you kind of looking at to run anyway? And whether you pick the races, obviously be close to next time.
Yeah, I'm going to have plenty of runners up in Aintree. Bring Up a Storm, Thomas Darby, Itchy Feet will all run. I'd imagine Itchy Feet might take on Constitution Hill for the fact there's so much prize money kind of down to
2.5.
So yeah, there's a lot of prize money on offer. So someone's got to be placed, and we'll try and pick some prize money up. I'd imagine Bring Up a Storm will run the 3-mile race, which is actually looking really competitive. But he's in great form. Thomas Darby will run in the 3-mile novice chase. She's a fine wine. Will run the mare's bumper. She's obviously very impressive on her last start. Go Dante, Yukon Tango, Washington will all have entries in handicaps. It just depends what the ground will do and what rain will come, really, and what races they run in and what will go where. Huvari will have an entry. Dr. Ken will probably have an entry, but I'm just kind of Thunder Rock. I'm just tossing and turning whether I kind of wait for Ayr and Cheltenham with them, or whether I go to Aintree with a few. I don't really know. They'll all be entered, and we'll kind of see what's what, see what the weather's going to do.
Cool. And then I suppose we're coming to the end of the season, which will be officially end of April. You're on currently 76 winners for the season. Have you sort of targeted the start of the season that you had? And is there a target that you're kind of focused on, revised target based obviously on the rain kind of slowed you down a bit, but I guess you picked up over the last, say, 3, 4, 5 weeks?
Yeah, listen, I suppose the next 3 weeks will hopefully get some nice prize money in the kitty if we can. And listen, if we can get another kind of 10 winners on the board and get up to mid-80s, I'll be pleased. Listen, not at the start of the year, I'd have said I'd like to have trained 100 winners, but I think kind of that 6 weeks in the middle of the winter kind of paid cost to that, and the slow start we had due to the weather as well. So listen, we're kind of catching up to where we were last year. Whether we quite get there or not, I don't know, but we've had a really good last month, and it would kind of top the year off now if we had a nice win or 2 now kind of in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, and look, very briefly, looking forward to next season. I just, based on a lot of your novice hurdlers and bumper winners, Olly, I think particularly over the last few weeks, it seems that you do have an exciting and definitely a stronger team going into next season, perhaps than last season, which I guess looking is exactly what the aim would have been at the start of the year.
Yeah, 100%. It's obviously it's a young, flourishing yard that just takes time to acclimatise and blossom. And these young horses are coming through. There's novice hurdlers to be going chasing, which will improve for a bigger obstacle, and still some nice bumper horse to run. So listen, I'm a lucky lad. There's plenty of nice horses in the yard. My dad's over in Ireland at the moment trying to source pointers. With some lovely bumper horses coming through for next year as well. So listen, it's exciting. It's very hard to get up to that next level where we're trying to go. But as I said, it's a young operation, and we just want to kind of get to that next level now. And hopefully, 1 or 2 of these nice young horses will hopefully get us there.
Absolutely. And look, finally to say that episode 6 of The Other Side of the Fence, episode 5 is out currently. Episode 6 will be out next Tuesday, which follows Huvari and his race day and market race. And won't give too much away. But listen, Olly, thanks a million. We'll chat next week.
Great. Great stuff. Happy Easter to you all. Cheers.
Cheers.